So this is going to be a very, very, very glorious day. I already know it. And it has nothing to do and everything to do with what I'm about to go do, which is sign the papers for my new car. But before I even get into the blessing and the story of exactly why this is happening, I remember some time ago I laid a foundation where I said there were many things that was happening in my life that had no social media presence. I told you then that most of the real work that's unseen before it's ever explained or posted or applauded on social media happens invisibly. You go to work every day, you get up every day, you put one more brick in the wall of your future. Now, you don't know exactly what you're building, you just know you lay brick by brick by brick. It takes some time to pull back and see exactly what you've created. You don't set out necessarily with a completed blueprint in your head. So I can't tell you that when I first started saving my money and trying not to spend everything I made, that I had this intention. I didn't. I didn't. I just knew I needed the security that if something befell me, I would be okay. I never lived like that. I wasn't that guy. I was that guy who gave everything I had away. I was always trying to help other people, sometimes to my own detriment. And so subsequently, I would get into these predicaments and I had no help. Because when you're helping people who can't help themselves, how can you expect them to be there for you when you need help? Food for thought. There comes a point where you have to say, it's not selfish of me to pay myself first. It wasn't a black thing growing up. We were told to pay our creditors. We were told to make sure that no one said a negative thing about us. And part of that mentality was us thinking that if everybody knew we paid our bills or we paid our bills on time, then they can't come against us later. Well, we paid our bills on time, and they did still come against us, and we had no defense. We had no reserve, and we got evicted, and we lost our cars, and we did a lot of things that, in hindsight, were dumb. Straight up dumb. I love the idea of paying yourself first, not because you want to have money put aside, but because it tells your brain you're worth it. Why would you pay someone else first? Anyway, think about that. You're making someone else rich all the time, but that's another story for another day. What I want to say today is that while I was posting my platitudes and my motivational speeches, I was deconstructing my mentality. I started a hashtag just recently called the mindset of. And I did 3 posts yesterday that said the mindset of Brother Eden. I was letting you know then what I'm about to talk about in detail now. I was letting you know that for so long I hid in plain sight. I hid my sexuality, I hid my desire to sing at an early age, I hid every talent I ever had that God had given me for me to prosper. I hid it, as in the scriptures, under a bushel. I put it away. I thought I could control when I used it and how I used it. I was wrong. So I want to say this to those out there who are sitting on their talents. You're going to always be challenged financially, emotionally, spiritually, if you don't get off your talents and do something with them. They were given to you, not to you through your grandmother or your grandfather or your mother or your sister or your brother or your cousin or your aunt or your uncle. They were given to you for you to do something with them. Not wait for a general consensus of everybody you've ever met in your life to then anoint you and say, I believe it's time. Why do you need that? Why? You know in your heart what you're really supposed to be doing. And if you're not doing it, I don't know what to tell you. Because that's where your treasure is. You will never have to borrow another dollar from another person if you just did your gift, your unique gift, your brand, to speak in this lingo, that the rest of the world cannot duplicate because it's yours. And waiting for the perfect synergy, the clouds to be the perfect cumulus in the sky, the sun to be on the perfect angle on the horizon, and then you're going to go out and do your thing. You're wasting daylight. I'm telling you, you're wasting daylight. Today, I am officially starting the Brother Eden Douglas property management and design business. Now, it's only a business card, but what's underneath that business card is my reputation from all the work that I've done for others for so long. They know who I am, they know what I'm capable of, and they've been wondering for themselves what's taken me so long to figure out my own worth. I'm wondering the same thing, quite frankly, because, I really should have known a long time ago that I was my best kept secret. I know it now, and no one's ever going to take that away from me. So, to get to the car, I was going to drive the Grand Prix that I had been so blessed to have for the rest of my natural life. I promise you I was. I was going to drive it until the wheels fell off. That's what I said, and I meant that. Because, my car was paid for, and that meant something to me. But I paid for a car that already had more than 100,000 miles on it when I first bought it. And now, at 174,000 miles, you start having problems in cars that you should have at that time, because that's a lot of miles. And so when my steering column locked and I went right into the ongoing traffic, and my car wedged up against the pavement of the sidewalk, with it angled out into the road, where cars had to literally swerve to go around me, but then had to be careful because they could hit cars in the other ongoing lane. It was a mess. The angels of that particular franchise on Central, Jiffy Lube, I'm going to call them out. They came to my rescue. They surrounded my car. They stopped the traffic. They got me back in their bay. But when I found out how much it was going to cost for me to fix that car, everything in me knew I couldn't do that. And then another angel from next door at that dealership came over to me and said, I think we can help you. Now, you go through life paying your way forward, believing that you can't do anything unless you have the right amount of money. You need it. You absolutely need money. But you need the kindness of strangers. You need the kindness of people who see you and see something in you and say, I don't know, but I think that man is worth the risk. We were looking at cars, and he was showing me all these really nice cars, Mustangs and Dodge Challengers and whatever those cars are. I don't even know. The cars that everybody else wants to drive. And none of those felt right to me. For some reason, they didn't feel right to me. So I told him my age. I said, look, brother's about to turn 61 in a couple of weeks. I do not need to be driving another sports car. I said to him, I need to be driving something that is commensurate with my age. Don't you think? All my life, my father has driven Cadillacs. That was his favorite car. Maybe I always knew I was going to come home to that one day. I didn't plan on it. And everybody who knows my relationship with my father would know it's the last car I wanted to drive. But I got the sweetest deal I could possibly imagine on this car. Now, the car represents another level for me, no doubt. It represents a place that I need to go next. Sometimes you have to figure out where you're going next to get to the sweet spot in your life. Things aren't working for you where you're working because you're at the wrong level. You shift up a couple of levels, and suddenly everything you know and everything you know how to do makes sense. So I'm telling you this, hoping I encourage you to just bite the bullet, go into debt if you have to, just a little bit more to get what you're supposed to have to represent yourself the way you should be represented in the marketplace, in your own mind, in your own psyche, and do what you came on this planet to do. I don't know how this story is going to end. I am not going to predict what is going to be next, but I believe the property management and design is the key to my next level. Now I get to go and solicit the support I need for that level in the ride, in the frame of mind, with the encouragement of the universe that I'm okay and I'm going to be okay. I thank this incredible actor that I'm working with now for encouraging me to not be afraid of my own power. I know for certain that this day is truly going to be a glorious day. I want you to have one too, okay? I don't want to be up here by myself. Please, I need company. I need company. I need company. I need people who are excited about living and not always talking about dying. I need people who want the best that life has to offer. Because as much as we want to get to heaven and live in the sweet by and by, for right now, this is heaven. If you create your heaven on earth, please let's create our heavens on earth and come visit one another, okay? And have the joyous times that camaraderie and brotherhood and friendship and sisterhood allows. We can be better, we can feel better, we can live better, and we can play better, and we can sing better. We can be our best selves together. I believe that. And I'm going to keep saying it until it's true across the board. Peace.